I'm Perry Russom in New York. We have some breaking news. President Trump now on his way to Israel amid a ceasefire in Gaza and the expected release of the remaining hostages. If all goes according to plan, he will meet with hostage families there before heading to Egypt, where a Middle East peace ceremony is planned there. We are waiting to see if he does speak to reporters, but apparently with this weather, the nor'easter that's affecting the East Coast, he appears to be under that black umbrella there and is headed to Air Force One. That is at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. There's some inclement weather, so the plan was, it looks like he is speaking to reporters there, stopping. I see a few reporters there. I'm not sure if we have another camera on the ground that we can see what he has to say. Let's listen in.
Papers and your own networks. Everybody's very excited about this moment in time. So I'll see you on the plane. I think you're traveling with us, but this is a very special event. There had 500,000 people yesterday and today in Israel, and also the Muslim and Arab countries are all cheering. Everybody's cheering at one time. That's never happened before. Usually if you have one cheering, the other isn't. The other is the opposite. This is the first time everybody is amazed and they're thrilled, and it's an honor to be involved, and we're going to have an amazing time, and it's going to be something that's never happened before. So I'll see you on the plane, and we're going to have a good time. Okay, Peter? Nice to see you. Thank you, everybody. See you in a little while.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Gaza. Over.
All right, President Trump speaking to reporters for a little bit more than a minute there as he is on his way to Air Force One at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. President Trump saying this will be a special event as he heads out to the Middle East, starting with Israel, saying it's an honor to be involved and I will see you on the plane. Yesterday at Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, there was quite the amount of excitement from people on the ground, as we heard from Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law, as well as Steve Witkoff, the U.S. envoy to the Middle East. There were chants of "Thank you, Trump," as Witkoff and Kushner, as well as Ivanka Trump, President Trump's daughter, spoke to the thousands of people gathered in Hostage Square. Let's bring in ABC's Alex Perche. Alex, we know Trump is headed to Israel and Egypt. What more do we know about this trip?
Well, Perry, I can tell you that there's a little bit of a delay here. The president was supposed to take off around 3:30 this afternoon. You saw him just gaggling there with the White House press pool. I think they're about to board the plane as they take off. Delayed a little bit over an hour. You mentioned that nor'easter. I'm not sure if weather played a part in this, but certainly a little bit behind schedule here. But once the president lands, he's first stopping in Israel, Tel Aviv, where he will meet with those hostage families. We believe some 20 of those 48 hostages are still alive. He's going to meet with them privately at the Knesset, and then he will address the Knesset in Tel Aviv before heading to Egypt. And you saw the president really kind of herald this as a good time and something to really celebrate. And this is a big win for him because not only is he front and center during this phase one of a ceasefire, he'll be going to Egypt and holding a joint forum with Egyptian President Sisi, which it's a Middle East peace ceremony where Trump will be able to lay out his vision to achieve peace in the region.
Yeah, Alex, you mentioned the weather. They call this a bad weather call. So he was supposed to take off from Marine One from the White House South Lawn using Marine One, the helicopter, to go to JBA. But because of the weather, they had to drive the 14 miles from the White House to Joint Base Andrews. This is really a critical and fascinating time for President Trump. I mean, just looking at some of the things happening here domestically at home, we have the government shutdown, day 12. We have some government workers who are now being laid off. There are more threats to send the National Guard to more American cities, as well as the indictments of former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. And then look at that. And then some of the stories international involving President Trump as he tries to broker peace, not only with this ceasefire deal in place between Israel and Hamas, but also trying to end the war in Ukraine. Also some tough negotiations going on with China as he's now threatening 100% tariff on imports coming from China. How do you see all this playing out right now for President Trump? How do you see this moment?
Well, right now, the administration is viewing this foreign policy as a huge win. The president campaigned as a candidate on ending conflicts around the world. This chief among them, Russia's war with Ukraine, another big one. But him being able to strike this first phase of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas was a huge win. And also seeing him front and center during this Middle East ceremony in Egypt is also viewed as a win for this administration. You kind of heard the excitement and certainly the positivity around this foreign trip as he boarded those steps. But Perry, the juxtaposition between what's playing out in U.S. foreign policy versus what's playing out here at home. You mentioned it is now day 12 of this government shutdown, no end in sight. We already got court filings that said some 4,000 federal workers would be furloughed. We heard from the White House earlier today that is just a snapshot in time, that those numbers are going to continue to grow. Already, the administration working to find funds, billions of dollars, to make sure the 2 million military service members who are part of that essential federal workers group, they have to work through this shutdown, make sure that they get paid on October 15th. But the fact of the matter is there are tens of thousands of other federal employees that will either not receive pay or on furlough because of this shutdown. You talked about the tariff situation with China. Those 100% tariffs could go into effect on November 1st. It's a retaliatory measure by Trump because of China's policy with its rare earth minerals. The president accused China of holding them hostage. But listen, this is a really kind of a poignant moment for him as this administration is really trying to stake a significant win.
Alex Perche, thank you for that. So let's just recap how we got to where we are right now. This is just days after the 2-year anniversary of the attack on October 7th in Israel, where 1,200 people were killed and more than 250 people were taken hostage. Then just about 4 days ago, on October 8th, President Trump announced that Israel and Hamas signed off on that first phase of the peace plan. The ceasefire went into effect on Friday. So as part of this phase one, as Air Force One is now starting to take off from Joint Base Andrews, the hostages will be returned from Gaza, Palestinian prisoners released from jail in Israel. So it'll essentially be a handoff of hostages and prisoners from both sides, as well as a partial withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip. So according to this plan, Hamas will release all those hostages within 3 days. And so right now we know that'll be happening around midnight on the East Coast. We'll be watching every moment closely on what could be the most important trip for President Trump in his second term.